We all know the craze. Those weird little dolls with giant eyes, scraggly teeth, and that ugly cute charm. Labubu dolls have taken over TikTok, collector feeds, and storefronts everywhere. But while most see them as harmless toys, some believe that behind those plastic grins is something darker. These are 5 real horror stories linked to Labubu dolls, and after tonight, you may not look at them the same again. Story 1. The one that smiled different. We all know the Labubu craze, those ugly, cute, monster dolls that flew off shelves at Pop Mart like hotcakes. Some say they're just harmless collectibles, but others, they've seen things. And one of them, just one, had a smile that didn't quite belong. I worked at a boutique toy store that imported designer figures and collectibles. Limited edition Labubu dolls were our top sellers. Kids loved them. Collectors obsessed over them. But one day we received a special shipment. No label, no order form. Just a single Labubu in pale yellow fur, smiling. At first I thought it was adorable. Its grin stretched a little wider than usual. Sure, but that was part of the brand, right? What creeped me out, though, was that its eyes weren't glassy like the others. They were glossy, too wet-looking, like they blinked. I put it on the shelf next to the others, but every time I passed by, I swore it had turned ever so slightly. Not dramatically, just enough to face me. I chalked it up to paranoia, stress, late-night shifts. Then one night, while doing inventory alone, I dropped a box behind the counter. When I stood back up, the doll was gone from the display. I thought maybe a customer moved it earlier and I hadn't noticed. I searched around and found it in the clearance bin. How did it get there? I picked it up and its head turned toward me. Not in a mechanical toy way, fluidly. I froze. It gave me that same toothy grin, a second longer. Then, blink. I dropped it and ran. The next day it was back in the glass case like nothing happened. But my manager said I looked pale, like I'd seen something. I told her the doll gave me the creeps, and she laughed. "You mean the one with the cute crooked smile?" she said. "It's been our best seller this week." I looked back at it from the counter, and it was still staring, right at me. That was 2 years ago. The store has since closed. The doll? It's missing, but someone recently uploaded a TikTok of a Labubu with a grin too wide for its face, found on a bench, sitting, still smiling, watching. Story 2. The mirror incident. There's a rule I never knew existed until it was too late. Never place your Labubu doll in front of a mirror overnight. I found that out the hard way. I had just gotten my hands on a limited edition, blue-furred Labubu. Fuzzy, cute, and with those signature mischievous eyes. It was my prize from a midnight Pop Mart drop and cost way more than I should have spent. I placed it on my bedroom dresser, directly across from the mirror, thinking nothing of it. That first night I woke up at exactly 3:12 a.m. I didn't hear anything, but I felt watched. My room was still, except for the moonlight shining off the mirror. I glanced up groggily and saw the doll sitting perfectly still, but in the reflection, it was standing, arms at its sides, facing me. I sat up fast, looked at the actual dresser, still sitting, still cute. I blamed sleep paralysis, or being half awake, until the next night. Again, 3:12 a.m. This time I kept my eyes closed, pretending to sleep, but I heard the faintest tapping, not on the window, on the mirror. Slow, rhythmic, tap, tap, tap. I opened my eyes, and there in the reflection, the doll had its hand raised, pressed against the mirror from inside. Its smile was bigger, too big. as if it was happy I was watching. When I jumped up and flicked on the light, the doll was back on the dresser, arms down, unmoving. I tried moving it to the closet. It came back. Every night. And the tapping grew louder. I covered the mirror with a blanket, but by the third night, the tapping came from both sides of the room. I took a video. Nothing showed, just a still shot of my room. But in one frame, just one, the Labubu in the reflection had no eyes, just dark hollow sockets. I threw the doll away the next morning, double-bagged it, tossed it at a dumpster far across town. That night, I slept without incident. Until 3:12 a.m., the blanket fell from the mirror, and in the glass, 2 Labubus, one with eyes, one without, both tapping. Story 3. The collector who stopped talking. Jason was a collector, not the casual kind, the obsessive kind, limited editions, rare color variants, misprints. If it was Labubu, he had it. His room was a shrine, rows of transparent display boxes, backlit like museum artifacts. He even had an Excel sheet tracking every release, trade, and resale value. But a month ago, Jason stopped answering messages. His social posts, once daily, went silent. No flexing his newest haul, no updates, just nothing. I figured he got burned out until I got a message. Not from Jason, from his backup Instagram account, the one only a few of us in the community knew about. No caption, just a photo, a Labubu doll in a cracked glass box. Its fur was matted, wet-looking. Its eyes, cloudy, not painted that way. Decayed, like something rotting beneath the plastic surface. The next day, I visited him. His apartment door was slightly open. That was already wrong. Inside, the smell hit me first. Damp, sour, like mildew and something worse, moldy meat. The lights were all off, but the glow from his display cases still lit the room. Only, they weren't in boxes anymore. Dozens of Labubu dolls were lined up on the floor, each one facing the hallway, like they were waiting. I called out for him. No answer. I stepped inside. That's when I saw the wall, his collector wall. It used to be filled with mint-condition packaging. Now, torn cardboard, empty spaces. Each display label still there, as if the dolls had walked out on their own. At the end of the hallway was his bedroom, and inside, Jason, sitting on the edge of his bed, his head tilted like a doll on a shelf. His mouth was slightly open, but no sound, just breathing. Surrounding him were the Labubus, none in packaging, all dirty, wet-looking. Some had scratches on their eyes. One had tiny red stains on its fur. I whispered his name. His head twitched toward me, and in the softest, barely there voice, he said, "They get jealous if you lock them up." I haven't spoken to him since. No one has. But every now and then, I get a photo from his account. Different dolls, same apartment, always looking at the camera. And the captions, "Out of the box now. We don't like shelves." He doesn't talk anymore. Story 4. The Labubu that changed colors. It started as a sweet gift. A girl named Ava posted on TikTok that her boyfriend surprised her with a rare pastel pink Labubu. It wasn't even from Pop Mart. He'd found it at a tiny night market stall, wrapped in worn lace, sitting alone beneath a flickering light. She was obsessed. She named it Peaky and started recording videos with it almost every day. Those cute talk to my doll skits, dances, even tucking it into bed. But people began noticing something off. In the earlier clips, Peaky had soft, bubblegum pink fur and bright eyes. Then, about a week later, the pink looked duller, grayer. Commenters joked it looked tired. But by the third week, the pink was almost gone. Its fur looked more like faded skin than fabric, and the eyes, sunken, dark, almost bruised looking. Ava brushed it off, called it lighting issues, until one night she went live. She was whispering to her chat, laughing about sleep paralysis, when her smile suddenly dropped. "Wait," she said, turning slowly toward the shelf. She walked off screen for a moment. Silence. Then, "Peaky isn't here." She came back on camera, pale, trembling. "I put it on the shelf before bed," she whispered, "but it's not there." Her chat flooded with confused messages. Then, a tap. Software repetitive, like plastic feet on hardwood. She swung the camera around, shaky and frantic, and for a split second, they saw it. Peaky, standing in the hallway. Not pastel pink anymore, dark red, dripping. Its eyes, blacker than pitch. The stream cut out. She deleted her account the next morning. No updates, no follow-up. Just one final video reposted by a fan account. A slow pan of an empty shelf. Captioned, "He wanted to be seen." Story 5. The note in the box. Mel was a casual collector. She wasn't into hype drops or scalper wars, just grabbed whatever looked fun. One day, a Labubu listing popped up online. No tags, no edition name. Just, "Special doll. Needs a home. $12. No shipping fee." It arrived in a plain brown box, no brand stamp, no tracking slip. Just the doll inside, slightly dusty, dressed in a yellow raincoat. The kind you'd see in Coraline or It. Mel thought it was kinda cute. Weird, but quirky. She almost missed the note tucked behind it. It wasn't printed. It was written in red ink, childlike handwriting, shaky. "Don't let him hear your name." That should have been the moment she tossed it out. But she didn't. That night, she placed the Labubu on a shelf near her window, surrounded by books. Nothing strange. Until the whispering started. At first, it was just barely audible, like someone practicing a sentence under their breath. She thought it was wind, maybe a neighbor outside. But when she muted her phone and pressed her ear against the wall, it was louder. From inside the room, one word, over and over. "Mel, Mel, Mel." She turned toward the doll. It was facing her. She hadn't posed it that way. She picked it up and tossed it into a drawer, slammed it shut. The next morning, it was back on the shelf. Same raincoat, same stitched smile, same eyes. Only now she swore the pupils were slightly bigger. She checked the box again. The note was gone. In its place, a second slip of paper. He knows it now. Mel tried burning the doll. It didn't burn. She buried it deep in a forest with salt, twine, and every ritual she could Google. 2 days later, she received a package. No return address, same brown box. Inside, the same Labubu, holding a third note. "Say someone else's name, or he stays." Ugly cute, they said. Just toys, they said. But sometimes, the things we call harmless smile a little too wide and stay a little too long. If your Labubu ever moves when you're not looking, if its smile ever changes, don't ask why. Don't say its name out loud. And whatever you do, don't look at it in the mirror after midnight. I've been the Tales Keeper. And tonight's bedtime horror was brought to you by the collectors, the cursed, and the dolls that stare too long. Sleep tight, if he lets you.